I love working on, just my craft. It's been great. I feel like I've got a lot of progress made since returning to being a starter. This start with the Giants, it really felt like I was dialed in. It's time to have a good day today. The only routine for start day is generally I get to the field, 3-4 hours before the game, eat a good meal, and then I always start off my day with going to sit in the hot tub for a few minutes, then start running through my warm-ups, stretching with the trainers, and then just getting the body fully stretched out and ready to go before the game. My goal before every start and during the start is to I want to get as much length as I can. I want to get as deep into the game, that way the bullpen is less taxed. We can just throw 2 or 3 guys and get to the end of the game and win it.
Brad Lord will start for the Nationals today, and it doesn't matter where he pitches, he finds a way to get the job done. Got him! 96 right past Bryce Turang. Another good slide. It will out to right.
Whenever somebody, hits a home run off of you like that, it's got to be like water off a duck's back. You just got to let it roll off. Nothing you can do about it now to change it once they hit it. And so it's all about, making the next pitch, executing it.
Pretty locked in right now. Good fastball down and in from Brad Lord.
Obviously, I was a little frustrated overall with the outing, just not being able to go at least 6 innings. I wish I could always take back a few pitches. Overall, I think a good outing based on how they were swinging it that weekend. So the day after a start, it's really, we call those spa days. So you do your recovery workout, you do your running. The day after I start, I always like to run some interval sprints. They're generally not as high effort. It's usually at a medium pace, run for a minute on, then a minute off. Those just really help me kind of get the blood flow and get the body flushed. I feel really good after that run. That's able to let me get into kind of more like deeper stretches and stuff during the recovery workout. The Children's Hospital, that was a very, very humbling experience. We don't realize how much that makes their day. If we can just take, a couple hours out of our day to go just lift up their spirits, it makes a world of difference. And, it means a lot to all of us guys that we're able to go do it. As a starter, I can really structure out what days that I'm going to throw more in catch play, or I'm going to throw longer distances in catch play. I can really structure that out and pick and choose what days work best for me. Whereas in the bullpen, it's more based of I can't throw too much before the game because I might have to pitch tonight. So you always got to kind of save your bullets when you're in the bullpen. Whereas the starter, I can really stretch it out. I can really work on some things in between outings, and I love that aspect of it. I love working on just my craft. It's been great. I feel like I've got a lot of progress made since returning to being a starter.
What is the most strikeouts you've gotten in one game?
Last year in the minor leagues, I struck out, it was 12 in one game, and that's the most I've ever got.
What's the hardest challenge you faced in a baseball?
The hardest challenge? It's kind of a combination of things.
Why did you stop playing baseball?
I've really been playing baseball since I was old enough to hold a bat. I started at 5 years old.
My routine, it's a lot more heavy intense. You go out there, do the same warm-up you would do as, if you were going to start that day on bullpens. So you go through your whole warm-up and then, 15, 20 pitches in the bullpen. Kind of keep it, more medium to light in intensity. You don't want to blow it out in a bullpen. Mentally for me, it's just like I go over the outing before, just give it the eye test. Like, how did I look out there on the mound? How is my mound presence? And that generally always helps me carry over into the next start. Obviously, that's our big workout day. So that's our primary lift. We're going to go in the weight room and try to lift some heavy weights and build all those muscles back up strong. The day after the bullpen is what we call like an auxiliary lift day. You have just a few exercises where you're lifting some heavier weight, but then it's more about getting the body moving well again, getting all the joints mobilized and just really stretching out all your muscles after the bullpen.
Daily ritual.
These guys are my family. I love all of these guys. As a pitcher, we get closer with the pitchers a little bit more, our bullpen guys, our catchers especially. I love all of these guys. We all just, we keep it light. We like to have fun, joke around with each other, and it's been a great time. The next day is what we call a CNS workout, so it's central nervous system. You lift light weights, and then you're working a lot with like medicine balls, and you're trying to just move it as fast as you can. Get the body firing fast, and get those muscles, like using those fast twitch muscle fibers. For me personally, I love the time change when we go from East Coast to West Coast, because I can always, I go to bed really early and then I wake up really early just because my body's used to waking up at a certain time. I always thrive off that. So when we're away, I generally start my routine like it's not much, but only like 10 minutes later. And that puts me a little bit finishing up my pregame bullpen just a little bit closer to game time. That way I'm not sitting too long before, I have to go out there and pitch. I was feeling really confident with this start. Going into the first inning and getting through it, I was feeling really good. I felt like I was able to locate all of my pitches where I wanted to, but I felt really good, whereas the last outing, I did not have as much command and control of all of my pitches, and I was just kind of a little wild with them. And so, this start with the Giants, it really felt like I was dialed in, and I was like, all right, we got a lead. It's time to have a good day today.
0-2 on Gilbert, and right in there with the heater. Brad Lord not messing around today.
You definitely got to always have to adjust mid-game. I gave up a few singles that inning, so it's really like, all right, now I got runners on base. Now's the time to just limit damage. All right, how can we escape this with no runs or the least amount of runs as possible?
Kisner Ramos endeavors the base runners. Swing and a miss. Dynamite changeup from Brad Lord to leave them loaded and keep the Nats on top 3-0.
It's always awesome whenever your offense gives you, a 3-4 run lead right off the bat in the first couple innings, and so it amps you up. It gives you a lot of energy and just motivation to perform well for the rest of your team.
Another 2-2 from Lord to Smith. Got him. Changeup down. Got him! Brad Lord today in San Francisco. 6 outstanding innings.
I was very happy with that outing. I mean, it was a great feeling.